not show up at all, only the people that have that link. But if you go unlisted, I think, I don't know if there's a limit on how many people can actually access.
So here's my YouTube account coming up. And actually, I'm recording this too. So Doceri is still mirroring, and I have the recording button going on. So actually, you can kind of use it like if you're familiar with Camtasia, I don't know. But anything that you can want to do on your, I should be pointing to this, anything you want to do on your PC actually through Doceri, you can go ahead and snag the video, if that makes sense. So this is my technology one. Let's open up. The other thing, since I've gone this route with YouTube, if you're interested in doing this, I'd have to talk you through it because I have to remember how to do it. But basically, you can have one main account and little accounts underneath it. So actually, that's what I have. So like underneath my main fall account, I have an account for each of my classes. So I could click on my general chemistry, and like Bruce was saying, I can set the privacy in there. It's kind of slow. Come on, hotspot. Look at my channel. We were talking about rainbows last night. I randomly picked.
There was a good one. I was coming from Mount Pleasant this morning, and because of the snow blowing, there was a double rainbow on each side of the sun.
That sounds wonderful. Like a kind of sundog is what they.
Yeah, but it wasn't really. Yeah, it was more of a big rainbow.
That's so cool.
And with cold sunglasses, it was really neat.
Did you put on some incense and peppermints?
Just floated to town.
That's good.
So I don't know. I'm not able to find how you change but it's here somewhere.
Where you can change which account you save
Yeah.
to, such like that.
Or change your who you want to see it. But mine are just open to the world. And as you can see,
It's under,
I have not made it big yet.
Video manager and do privacy.
3 views. So, okay. The other thing while I'm here I wanted to show you is in the last year, I've really gotten it going strong. For each of my classes, I use Twitter to basically share announcements with my students and also to push out my videos. So Bruce showed me this thing called TweetDeck, and this is what TweetDeck looks like. How many people in here use Twitter? Yeah, hey, you're cool. What do you use it for?
I always use it just for stuff about our program, and then just to
To get the word out?
follow other recruiting news or polls or other stuff. Most of our team in our league, tweet out scores after a game.
Real-time info, yeah. So do you subscribe to people then and
Yeah, follow people, yeah.
follow people? So that's kind of what I do. And TweetDeck is you can configure it however you want to. So each column I have manually stuck on there. So actually I have a science Twitter feed, which is just everything. But if you go over to the next one, that's my General Chemistry 2 students' Twitter feed. So this is actually where I can tell them things like, let's see, we had a lab yesterday, and I recorded the pre-lab, so they can click on that video. Also in lab, I used Doceri to do to kind of talk them through calculations. So this actually is their calculations. They really like this. I really like this because I can do it ahead of time. And so it looks like I need to click download. By the way, anybody recognize that little symbol up there in the upper left-hand corner?
Yeah, Dropbox.
It is Dropbox. Excellent.
Use that.
What's that? Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
What do you use Dropbox for?
My students want to send large presentations to view, and we'll take a look at them for their implementation or whatever.
That's awesome.
You can drop it back to them with comments.
The cloud, yes. Exactly. So students can see this and then print it out, and they're good to go. So back to the TweetDeck. The other thing, you notice this announcement right here. I chose, since I live in Burlington and work in Keokuk, on the morning, yesterday morning, I wasn't going to navigate the roads, so I used Twitter basically to tell everybody that though you're going to see my morning lab is canceled, because I'm not going to try to make it there by 9, I'm going to meet my afternoon class and my evening class. So I don't have a lot of followers, official followers, but I think, what is it called when people follow you but they don't officially follow you?
Stalkers? or-
Yeah.
Stalkers, yeah.
Lurkers is the nice term.
Yeah, I think I got lookers. And every once in a while, we'll be covering something in class, and I'm like, and there's something just totally an article that's like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we're talking about. So I can push that out there. And if you're familiar with the eCompanion, okay, I actually, when they open up eCompanion, this actually is on the one of the running feeds that they see on eCompanion. And this is for my intro to Gen Chem, and over here with the clouds, of course, that's my meteorology class. So any questions about that?
Are a lot of faculty doing this?
No. Me. In fact, I just, I get a lot of ideas from the internet and stuff, but I hadn't seen this on the internet yet. So I just like it because,
Well, it's a
you know.
good way to connect to your students.
Yeah,
And
and-
they actually help. If they keep it out, you're getting it for them.
And yeah, and if a student misses a day, you know, I'm like, okay, it used to be they'd say, well, what was due? And I'm like, I get this glazed look in my eye. I'm like, that was like 3 days ago and 6 lectures ago. I have no idea. So instead of that, I'm like, well, let's look at Twitter. Because I post what is due when. Okay, so I don't know if there's a good example, but right here for my intro Gen Chem, it said, you know, it clearly says, so there's no, you know, this is what's due.
So do you require your students to participate in Twitter to kind of get them in the groove, or?
I haven't yet,
No?
but that's a good idea. I'm kind of into kind of almost janky sort of extra credit sometimes, so that might be a follow me and get extra credit.
Yeah.
So, but I have a couple of young students in my meteorology, and it's the young ones that will be like, yeah, I'll follow you, you know, they're brave. The older ones like, eh. But the thing about Twitter, it's kind of nice that actually they can go to a website. They don't have to have a Twitter account or anything. You know, in my syllabus I said, you know, just go to this website and it'll have my Twitter feed. So
Can you show an example of that? Show your website, what's it, put it on the site?
I think so. Because I've done it a few times. You know how it's got so the address is Twitter something. So we'll go up here.
Yeah, when I first, I think I was at a conference at Purdue about a month after Twitter started. I have my address on Twitter. I think I was able to use 5 characters. And that's how, nowadays, if you try to do 5 characters, you're not getting it. You're not getting that name. And you know, kind of started following 1 or 2 people, and kind of lead you to some more people. To me, it's professional development. Find out what's going on in my area, my department responsibilities. It's the best thing there is. I could sit on Twitter and search, but and Google and find some stuff, I'm sure, but then it's 2012. This stuff's a lot is today, you know. Think in terms of what Libby does, to me it's the best way to find out how the weather really is at some place. Because there's people traveling all over the world that you follow a lot of people in tech and find out, you know, the weather's crappy in Denver or not that bad as the weather terrorists lead us to believe.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't know why it didn't work before. So twitter.com and then / and then whatever your handle is. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool that they don't have to, you know.
They don't need an account
No.
to see your stuff.
So what's the problem? You know, and I like to teach, I feel a lot more comfortable now, like I said, confident if the students are gone. It's like, what do I do? I'm like, well, I've tried to cover that, you know, and things happen, but, you know, it's the panicky, you know, well, okay then, you know, it's okay, it's covered. And, you know, they can revisit lecture. So, yeah, worth 10 extra credit points. Well, actually, this wasn't janky. This is actually just a problem we did in class. So, you know, but any questions? I try to. It's nice to go relive the semester. You're like, oh, yeah, we did do that. That was fun. So, let's see. The only other two things I had, I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing e-textbooks, kind of what I do with them, and then Apple TV. So
The Apple TV that Libby's talking about, Janet Keokuk, classrooms in Keokuk, and I think probably about 5 classrooms up here. Basically what it allows, if you watch up on a TV, there, I'll show my iPad on a TV. Maybe.
yeah, and if you have an Apple device, you can just swipe up and find his. If you get to the Apple TV before he does, you're welcome to it.
Right. So, let's open up the demonstration for this. Maybe,
Is the Apple TV out there? Oh, you have to be on the same.
yeah.
Wow.
This is kind of a good point of emphasis, is sometimes technology just doesn't work like you want it to work, when you want it to do what you want to do. So, especially